Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Monday. It's a new week. Whew, that weekend seemed to have gone pretty fast. Or maybe it was just me. But good morning to you all. Good morning. It is Monday. It is Monday, January 23rd, 2023. And I want to welcome you on behalf of Purpose Journey Counseling Reloaded. We're still reloaded. But I want to welcome you this morning. It is 7 a.m. on January 23rd, 2023. But whether you are catching us live at 7 a.m. or you're watching this later in the day, later in the week, later in the month, later in the year, we want to say greetings to you. My name is Dr. Natatu North, and I am the owner and therapist of Purpose Journey Counseling, LLC, located in Cincinnati, Ohio. So again, we are live. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And the YouTube link for this broadcast is posted on Instagram. So as always, we just ask that you take just a few moments. It's pretty quick to do these things, to like this broadcast. Please also like our pages on the various social media platforms. Please follow us on social media. And I just ask, whatever you prefer to watch us on and all that kind of stuff is great. But we do ask that everyone please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Purpose Journey Counseling. So we ask that you please subscribe, and also please share this video that you're watching, share with someone so that someone can also benefit from the words of encouragement, that we can all just connect and be very supportive to one another. And then lastly, let us please interact and engage in the comment section. It's just wonderful. I always say in the mornings, I don't usually have time to look at comments while we're live because we have a very short period of time. I know a lot of people actually do catch the replays, or I should say replays, or catch this later. But it's lovely to be able to go back and look at those comments later in the day. So want to share this information as always, the number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Please put this in your phone, 1-800-273-8255. This number is 24/7. So please save this number. Just keep it in your phone so that you have it if ever needed by you or someone else. Then there's also the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. That number is 988. You can also text this number as well. And this number, again, is 24/7. So please save both of these numbers in your cellular device. Keep them readily available. You just never know. You may need it. Someone else may need it. It's just good to have the necessary tools. So thank you so much for doing that. So it is Monday, as we stated. And on Mondays, we have our Monday message. And I just like to say, I really appreciate, healthy dialogue with people. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with my two best friends, and it was lovely. It was lovely. And we were just talking about a lot of different things, and something came out of that conversation that I really want to share today as our Monday message, as we're connecting this morning. And just want to start off with this statement. It's very, very important, very, very near and dear to my heart. But yes, let's normalize honesty and being able to tell each other the truth. Who, Jesus, if I don't say anything else today, please let's normalize this. We really do need to normalize being able to be honest and telling each other the truth. Now, I didn't say brutally honest. I didn't say to cut. I didn't say to hurt. I didn't say, to say what you want to say. No. We know our tag. We haven't gotten there yet. but it's always to be loving, to be kind, be compassionate, be intentional. But you can be honest and still be loving, kind, compassionate, and intentional. You could be all four of those things and still be honest. But we need to normalize being honest with each other and being able to tell each other the truth in love, to be able to say, you know what, I really do have an issue with that, or I take issue with that. Or when we're asked for our honest opinion about, excuse me, or honest thoughts about something or an opinion, we should be able to feel comfortable to give that information. Sometimes we're in settings and people ask us questions and are like, be honest. And the first thing we go to is a lie, or we don't tell the whole truth, or we kind of gloss it over to make it sound better than it is. And a lot of times it's because we're worrying or wondering about what they're going to say or how they're going to react or respond to what we say. And we've said this before on here. You're responsible for what you say. You are not responsible for how someone else receives it. Because let's face it, sometimes we take time to really, think about what we want to say to somebody. We plan this very loving, caring, intentional response, and they still take it in a different way, and it turns into an argument, or now we no longer speak to each other, or whatever the case may be. But you're still not responsible. You're still not responsible for how they respond. But so if we're normalizing honesty and being able to tell others the truth, then we also need to normalize being able to receive truth without defensiveness, excuses, and rebuttals. That when we're having an honest conversation with someone and they tell us something, that we can receive it and say, you know what, I'm just going to take what you just said. And I'm not just talking, we talk about friendships and get you some honest friends and all that kind of stuff. People who are not just going to tell you what you want to hear. That's great, but it goes beyond that too. This is in general. We need to be able to have open dialogue. And I know a lot of times this is difficult. It's like I'm thinking about the workplace, things like that, when you're sitting in some type of staff meeting or leadership meeting or something, and they're asking for honest opinions or thoughts about something. And the first thing you're thinking is, well, if I tell you this, am I going to have a job? Is this going to negatively impact me? But, we should be able to say these things honestly with thought still. We talked last week about praying and thinking before we speak, right, or do anything. So it's not just, being very flippant in our responses or just saying the first thing that comes to mind. But we also need to normalize being able to receive truth. It's okay to sit there and listen, sometimes, especially if someone is taking the time to be, very careful about what they're saying, very mindful of the language that they're using. We need to normalize being able to receive it without being defensive, without making excuses, without having a rebuttal for, well, the reason why I did this, then it's like in those situations, or just, flat out going off. Because some of us, that's what we do. We just go off. But if we do these things, then how are we fostering any type of healthy relationship? Because honest communication cultivates healthy relationships. It does. It's difficult. Yes, it's difficult sometimes to sit and listen to someone tell you about yourself in a nice, loving way, but they're still telling you about yourself. You may not have signed up for that information in that particular moment. It might not be something that you actually wanted to hear. However, it might be something that was still necessary to be said. And it could be something that actually could make the relationship a lot better, because now you know that this is something that needed to be dealt with. A lot of times, honest communication forces us to deal with stuff, and we don't always want to do that. Sometimes we rather, well, I'm just not going to say anything, or I'm just going to say, part of the truth. I'm just going to, gloss that over real quick because I don't think they're ready. Or in all actuality, sometimes it's not even the other person, it's us. We're not ready to have that honest conversation because we're not ready to actually face the fact that sometimes these are things that need to be dealt with. And it's a big thing. We talk about communication within relationships. As a therapist, when I do couples counseling, communication is one of the first things that people say they need to work on when they're coming in for couples counseling, and it's not just communicating like I can't talk to you or I can't say anything. It's also communicating honestly. being able to tell the real, but being able to receive it. Because some of us have no problem telling the truth, but we can't hear it. Sometimes we can't handle the truth when someone's telling us it's a problem. How dare you talk to me like that? Well, I mean, isn't it okay? Conflict doesn't always have to be unhealthy. It can be healthy if we can learn how to deal with things in a positive light. Another thing I want to say is just that not all critiques are negative or have intent to harm. Not all of them. Now, sometimes, yes, but sometimes we're just being honest to try to talk to someone, to try to maybe even help them or just help the relationship or just have honest communication. Just because you give a critique or because you have an opinion or because you're just kind of, speaking on something does not mean that it's intended to be negative or intended to be harmful. It just may mean that this is someone's honest opinion or thought about a particular situation. We've got to be able to have these types of conversations. I don't know why we want to walk around having, basically like conversations that are like not truthful. Like, wow, to feel like you're having interactions with people and you're like, well, I don't even think there was any merit in that entire interaction we just had because there was no truth in it. I've learned over the course of my life, and I know sometimes it's hard to hear the truth, but I don't want to waste my time having conversations that are not truthful. If you're lying to me, then what's the point of me? What's the point of us talking? To me, that's kind of a wasted interaction if we can't be truthful with each other. And again, with each other, we should both be able to be honest. So I want to leave out, y'all know I love quotes. I love quotes. And my son, my 13-year-old, has been coming up with all these quotes lately. But something he said that really resonated with me. He said this to me maybe a few weeks ago, and it's just, it keeps coming out, but I have to share this. And he is 13, but this makes a lot of sense. Sugarcoating the truth will leave you with a bunch of cavities. Thanks, Rajon. On today, sugarcoating the truth will leave you with a bunch of cavities or your teeth might rot. I'm just saying, let's really think about this, Let's think about this in 2023. Let's be truthful. With everything going on around us, I'll just say this, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. If we can't be honest with each other, and then we can receive honesty, we've got a lot more growing up to do because it's time out for sugarcoating. It's time out for games. It's time out for just saying stuff just to go along to get along. Let's deal with stuff this year. How about that? Let's start with some honesty, and again, it's still using tact. It's still being very mindful of what we're saying and how we say it. Sometimes it's not what we say, it's how we say it. But we need to be able to be honest, but we also need to be able to receive the truth. So this was all prompted from a conversation yesterday, and I appreciate that conversation yesterday because I woke up still thinking about it. But let's normalize honesty this year, being able to tell each other the truth, but let's normalize being able to receive truth without defensiveness, excuses, and rebuttals in 2023. In Jesus' name. Amen. So our tag for Purpose Journey Counseling still goes along with what we've been talking about is to be loving, be kind, be compassionate, and be intentional towards others as well as towards yourselves. And that goes in line with this honest communication. So our next episode of Hashtag from a Christian, our podcast, Hashtag from a Christian, Hashtag from a Therapist with Dr. Natatu, episode 9. Will be Sunday, February 5th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join us. If it's not on your calendar, go ahead and mark it down. Very much looking forward to February and Purpose Journey Counseling Reloaded. We're doing a lot of different things this year. So not just schedule-wise, but new topics, different things, looking at some things from different perspectives. So please, please, please join us, Lord willing, on February 5th. Again, that is not Super Bowl Sunday. I keep saying that just so we don't have to make up excuses. Super Bowl Sunday is the week after that. So February 5th. So we do thank you so much for joining us this morning. We thank you for starting your week with us or whenever you're catching this. We thank you for your support and just for us being mindful of our communication, honest communication. Starting today. Start today. So, Lord willing, we will see you on Wednesday for Wednesday Wisdom, live again at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This was our Monday message with Purpose Journey Counseling LLC Reloaded. Have a magnificent, marvelous Monday and blessings.